right. It's about that time. Turn that music down. I did already. Oh, look at this. I didn't change my damn background thumb. Hang on. Give me a second. Because it might take a second. I'm coming. Don't worry. I'm going to be here. Trust me. And here comes my face. Happy Friday, people. Happy damn Friday on the Morning Night Live. I have a little bit of an interesting hook today right here, don't I? I've been thinking about this a lot. And that's my editorial thought for the day. We'll get to it, I promise. There's a lot going on. A lot of scary stuff. I mean, there's stuff to talk about that's from a few days ago, like most of the media talks about, but I want to talk about some other things. What happened? What even boomer moment? Welcome to Boomer TV. I'm fine. I'm here. I'm queer. Get used to it. So anyway, the coffee's ready. I'm ready. I think it's time to get it started. Johnny, play the intro.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, the one and only P-Dog Knight.
Hell yeah! Johnny, stop the music. Let's get this going. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I'm your host, Marty, also known as P-Dog Knight on the internet. And welcome back to the P-Dog Knight channel on the 14th of July, 2023, the year of our Lord. And I'm here thinking too much. And I think I might have an interesting take on what's happening in our world right now. Real quick though, before I even get started, thank you to our friend Gunvox61 who dropped a big Hamilton in the tip jar for this morning, which means you are the new Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day. Thank you, Gunvox61. Dropped some dropped an article, and with it, some serious shit is happening. Thus, this has not happened in a long time. Yeah, well, it's big news, and it's why I started my title. That's why I named the stream what I named it, because I want to say, if you want to find a link to why this seems so acceptable to a lot of the people who would normally be anti-war, whatever, people who normally would never think that this is a good idea. I blame one person, and that is Hillary damn Clinton. Okay? Hillary damn Clinton. I'm blaming it on her because she decided to demonize Russia. She decided to make Russia an issue where it wasn't before. We'll get to it. I promise. It's not a long thought, but I'll explain it when we get talking about what's happening. But I got to do trending stuff and say hi to everybody first. So let's do that. First in the chat on YouTube, of course, not YouTube, Rumble. On Rumble. First in the chat, of course, is our friend Advocatus Diabli. Who gets the bell? I don't know why the bell didn't work. Well, because I did something stupid. I had a boomer moment again. No, I use this touchpad, and it doesn't always feel my touch. Sometimes when we touch, the keys don't work too much, and the sound effect just doesn't roll out. Who sang that song? That's not Focal. Who sang that? Somebody knows who sang that song. Anyway, that's not how it goes though. So never mind. You might not recognize it. Good morning, also Mike Savage, Blarg, Cryptics in the house. What's up? My Asian brothers in the house. Boogie night. Yes, I had some nice funky funk music this morning. It is Funky Friday. No one answered the question. Answer the damn question. What day is it? Funky Friday, of course. Funky Friday. Okay, we can unpin that. Let's see, who else is here? Cannibalistic Wizard, good morning, sir. Sully209, Next Gen Troll, and I think that's everybody over Rumble. Nice to see you. On YouTube, first in chat is also Avocados Diabli, got the bell. Good morning also to Tyler F. Oh, wait, let me get my notifications ready here so I can thank some people. Tyler F, Chicago Mike, Tyrannus, Alexandrius, the Invictus Lich is in the house. I always want to pronounce that leech. Leech, like, you know, using a European I. Because in European English, or not English, whatever, the Latin language is I spell is E. Leech. Close enough. Anyway, hello again, also Chicago. Did I say Chicago, Mike? I think I did. Did I say Chicago? Or was that over here? No, that's over here. Chicago Mike, what's up? Good morning. Let's see. Sound Down Bold Nations here. Good morning also to, I gotta scroll down. Y'all been talking a lot before anyone else got here. Can someone explain the difference between saying the people of color and color people? We're gonna get to that. Aside from the word count and the sentence structure, because the left is up in arms about this shit again. Yeah, it's on my list. In fact, that's one of the things trending today, so we'll get to it. Also, good morning, Lord Stanhope, Rotten Corpse, Aaron Meredith. Nice to see you all. Tex AG 007, Willett Forge. Let's see, who else? Anybody else? Oh, Hig, what's up, Hig? From the home base in Florida. Good morning also to, that seems to be everybody. Is that everybody? It's almost everybody. Oh, fake news experts here. Good morning. Simon Wolfwood. I hope I didn't skip. It scrolled all the way down on me. I think I got everybody. If you know what, I'll figure it out. If you say something again, I will say hi to you too. Leech and Lich are totally fine. Well, you know, I don't want to call you Leech though. Okay, if I say Leech, the Invictus Lich, something. I'm trying to put a German pronunciation on it. I don't know. Oh, deployed? What do you mean deployed? Where are you? Are you on the road again? On the road again. Oh, hey, Camel's in the house. What's up? Good morning. One of the original viewers of the Morning Night Live. Love to see you here again. Oh, you're in South Florida today. Okay, cool. That means the camper is camping. I think. Did you take the rig? I'm just curious. Leech, lick, like, all our pronunciations of it. Yes, it could be any of them, but I'll just say the Invictus Lich. You did that German pronunciation. Oh man. Yeah, I forgot about that. Well, I hope things are going well down there. All right, let's get into some trending things in the news, things that most people haven't talked to you about yet. Okay, or well, they're high on the list of things that people are talking about on this hellhole known as Twitter. What is this? If you think you can train a woman before marrying her, you're marrying the wrong woman. This is one of the most idiotic things I've ever seen all day. Oh, good Lord. Yeah, people that talk about stuff like that. Wait, I can't believe that with all the national and international social and economic unrest and distress in this planet, in this country, some folks on the right have their shorts in a bunch because Disney is casting as a Latina as Snow White. Hey, you know what? That's trending too. Snow Whites. There's a lot. I'm talking about stuff that I'm about to be talking about anyway. So how about if I fix that by actually just talking about the stuff instead of reading it off the screen and not talking to you. Things trending right now on Twitter. One of the big ones is apparently they have found and arrested the Long Island serial killer. Let's see, this guy, police make arrest in Gilgo Beach murder case on Long Island. This is I don't know if any of you in New Yorkers had heard about this. The arrest in Gilgo Beach brings a possible breakthrough in the Long Island serial killer mystery. Police in New York have taken a person into custody in connection with the unsolved murders of at least 10 women whose bodies were found on Long Island's Gilgo Beach more than a decade ago. 2 law enforcement sources confirmed to CBS News Friday morning that the Suffolk County Police Department had one suspect in custody in connection with the murders. Not Dildo Beach. It's not No Somnambule Nation. It's not Dildo Beach. Sorry. It's Gilgo Beach. Okay? Gilgo Beach on Long Island. Anyway, there were no immediate details about where the suspect was taken into custody, but there was a large police presence Friday morning at Massapequa Park, CBS reported. Possible breakthrough of the hunt for the suspect in what's known as become the Long Island serial killer case came a little more than a year after the police arrested audio of a 911 call made by Shannon Gilbert just before she vanished in 2010. Investigators were searching for Gilbert when they found other remains in Gilgo Beach in December that year. Women in their 20s whose remains have been wrapped in burlap sacks known as the Gilgo Four. They were later identified as these 4 women: Maureen Barnes, Melissa Bartholomew, Megan Waterman, and Amber Costello, who went missing in 2010. And these are abducted at different times: 2007, 2009, 2010. So anyway, they've made an arrest. A lot of people are speculating that this is the person they were looking for in this case. Several news outlets are talking about it, and good on them. Good on, remember, if this is the triumph of some law enforcement. Now, some law enforcement people are shitbags, but some are not, and most are not. I would say most of them are trying to serve their communities, and so, and this is one of those things that you go, bravo. Now, someone's speculating that this Long Island serial killer may have done business with Jeffrey Epstein through real estate. Now, I don't know. They're speculating stuff. Who knows? But this is a good thing that they found him. More than a decade after bodies were first found, police have arrested a suspect in connection with the Long Island serial killer case. So lots of people talking about it. I'll have the link in the links today, as I do every day. I drop a one tab link in the chat and in the description and on the Discord server. So there you go. Oh my gosh, Gilgo equals giant dildo. No, it's a beach. Life's a beach. Horror of a party beach. Yeah, I tell you, dude murdered 8 or 9 call girls and 1 teen. Is that what it was? I don't care who it is. Dickhead. If this is the guy and they can prove he did it, FTG. Fuck that guy. So, also trending this morning, Ashton Kutcher is trending. Now, one of the reasons Ashton Kutcher is trending is because, as you know, the movie Sound of Freedom is a very popular movie right now. A very popular movie. And someone brought up the fact that Ashton Kutcher in 2000 has been working on this problem for a very long time. He was on some task force that John McCain put together in 2009, but then someone in that task force kind of screwed up and found embezzling money, so he left that. And then in 2017, he actually has a company that develops software and basically is a way to search for people who are in either any kind of trafficking of human beings. Okay. And so someone was bringing up the fact that he just testified in 2017 to Congress, and it's interesting. What's wild about it. So I don't know if anyone thinks human trafficking is a good thing. Nobody does, right? But for some reason, because this movie, Sound of Freedom, seems to be popular with more conservative people, right? And, the story is about an actual guy who is out there doing the job. He's saved 5,000 to 6,000 people pulled out of human trafficking. But because conservatives like it, the liberals are shitting all over it. And the critics obviously are taking a dump on the movie, right? Even though the audience scores are through the roof. But so this got posted on Twitter a few times. Him testifying before Congress, and I think I have this. Do I have this? I thought I had it as a standalone. Apparently, I don't. All right. Well, we'll go back to the one here. So here's him testifying before Congress in 2017.
This, for so many, is stripped away. It's raped. It's abused. It's taken by force, fraud, or coercion.
Hang on, this is a shorter version. I actually want to watch the longer version. Oh, here it is. I have it back here. So here's where Ashton Kutcher was trending. News alert: Ashton Kutcher is preparing to expose the Hollywood sex child trafficking empire. That was back in the day. But here's the one that I wanted you to see. I don't think it's the exact same one. So here, let's watch this one instead.
To fight human trafficking and the sexual exploitation of children. And that's our core mission. My other day job is that of the father of two, a 2-month-old and a 2-year-old. And as part of that job that I take very seriously, I believe that it is my effort to defend their right to pursue happiness and to ensure a society and government that defends it as well. But the right to pursue happiness for so many is stripped away. It's raped. It's abused. It's taken by force, fraud, or coercion. It is sold for the momentary happiness of another. I've seen video content of a child that's the same age as mine being raped by an American man that was a sex tourist in Cambodia. And this child was so conditioned by her environment that she thought she was engaging in play. I've been on the other end of a phone call from my team asking for my help because we had received a call from the Department of Homeland Security telling us that a 7-year-old girl was being sexually abused, and that content was being spread around the dark web. And she had been being abused, and they'd watched her for 3 years, and they could not find the perpetrator, asking us for help. We were the last line of defense. An actor and his foundation were the potential last line of defense. That's my day job, and I'm sticking to it.
So anyway, look, there's several clips in the link that you'll see, and you can watch some of the clips. So he's trending because of this, right? And because this is not necessarily in favor with some people, because they think it's because of the Sound of Freedom movie, right? So you see stuff like this popping up where they criticize him for. Now, mind you, this is the one I just showed you, right? This is him testifying before Congress in 2017. Okay. So someone brings up this. Ashton Kutcher sat on the board of the McCain Institute, quote, to combat trafficking, end quote, along with Lynn Forrester de Rothschild, and they featured events hosting speakers like Joe Biden, Hillary Clinton, and Bill Clinton. Say dubious, sure, right, because it's John McCain. Of course he brought them. Now, a report citing findings from the McCain Institute's filings with the IRS for 2012, 2013, and 2014 revealed that they did not spend any of their endowment on combating human trafficking. Now, let me just say, that doesn't surprise me. And they probably learned how to do this from the Clintons. Remember the money they raised for Haiti? But I digress. They had Ashton Kutcher on this board. Now, he was on the board. Doesn't mean he ran the day-to-day operations, didn't do anything. But again, remember the dates we're talking about here. 2012, 2013, 2014, blah, blah, blah. In 2009, police arrested a former manager of Senator McCain's Pueblo presidential campaign office on charges he sexually assaulted a 5-year-old boy left in his care. That was the second arrest on charges of sexual assault in the week for Jeffrey Claude Bartleson, 52, who's facing similar allegations of at least 5 times since 1982 without being convicted of a crime. And then she adds, the more you know. What does that have to do with this 2017 testimony, the organization that has helped 6,000 victims of human trafficking? 2017 testimony. What does any of this have to do with this? But this is the kind of stuff that happens when you mention someone's actually doing something about this. Now, again, testimony 2017, McCain Institute filings from the IRS 2012, 2013, 2014. He was on the board. He wasn't running day-to-day operations. This is what he did in 2017. And then what the F does a 2009 arrest of a former manager of Senator John McCain's presidential campaign office have to do with Ashton Kutcher? The more you know, this has nothing to do with Ashton Kutcher. And guess what? He was arrested. Did anyone try to defend this guy? I don't know. Who cares? Much better than anything he did on TV. Yeah, I thought he was funny. He was actually funny when he took over for Charlie Sheen in 2.5 Men. I mean, they did the best they could to keep that show going. I wasn't a big That 70s Show fan, but whatever. And it's certainly better than any movie he's ever been in. Although he was in one movie that I liked. It was a rom-com type movie. I can't remember what it's called. Anyway. Yeah, the more you know, who cares? Not related to what he did here. So then people down here are obviously saying, well, this person's like, the fox in charge of the hen house. What the fuck are you talking about? He wasn't charged with this. He didn't get the tax filings against him. People just want to criticize him because of that. Now, again, and Ashton Kutcher sat on the board of the McCain Institute to combat trafficking. Sidney McCain knew about Epstein and his ilk, so why was nothing done about the McCain Institute? John and Sidney McCain or Ashton Kutcher? Again. So this guilt by association, how does Ashton Kutcher have to do with this? Is connecting the dots. It's like 7 degrees of Kevin Bacon, or 6 degrees, whatever that stupid thing is. You can it's just insane. So anyway, and I don't know if he has anything to do with Sound of Freedom. I don't even know if he's made any noise in Sound of Freedom. All I know is that his foundation has helped it's up to 6,000 kids now. And this other guy who the movie of Sound of Freedom about has also helped lots of kids and get out of human trafficking. And you're criticizing them because, oh my God, someone on the right wing might like this kind of stuff, might think this is a good thing. It's funny because during the Trump administration, they really, really ramped up hunting down human traffickers and had a lot of success with that. And then it's kind of, some of the stuff that they were doing was redirected when the Biden administration came in because they were too busy looking for Trump, people who might have supported Trump and gone to January 6th. And so now they have had some successes and a couple of big high profile successes. But, I just don't understand why you want to criticize these people who are actually helping people in some of the worst situations that you could ever want a child to be in. It's unbelievable that's your energy is on criticizing people who actually do something. Also, I think wasn't Ashton Kutcher the first person to ever have 1 million followers on Twitter? I think he was, something like that. But there's still plenty of people who have gone into this to help kids. Why are you on their asses for that? All right, I want to move on because that one just pisses me off a little too much. Also trending is our good dear friend Taylor Lorenz. Taylor Lorenz has penned a hit piece in the Washington Post on Twitter, like she likes to do. And because she's mad that Twitter is paying out people on their monetization on Twitter. She's mad about it because she decided to write this article. Far-right Twitter influences first on Elon Musk's monetization scheme. Bah, bah, bah! The platform is paying high-profile creators, including Andrew Tate. Oh, no! Thousands of dollars for posting to the app. Wow. Elon Musk wasn't kidding. Content monetization is real, tweeted an anonymous account called N Wokeness with 1.4 million followers, accompanied by a screenshot showing earnings of over $10,400. So far, the influencers who have publicly revealed they're part of the program are prominent figures on the far right. Andrew Tate, for example, who was recently released from jail on rape and human trafficking charges, posted he's been paid over $20,000 by Twitter. Okay, let's just stop the nonsense for a moment. In fact, I don't have a link to the article. Oh, here it is. Here it is. Washington Post. Now, because it's Washington Post, I have to find an archived copy of it. I want to go through it a little bit because there's a little problem with it, of course, because it's Taylor Lorenz. Because Taylor Lorenz is myopic in her thinking, and actually she's limited in her reasoning skills. So we're gonna let's get the archived. Oh yes, it was archived. So here's her article. How much time do I have? I got to do this quickly because I got a lot of stuff to get to. The first beneficiaries appear to be a string of high-profile far-right influencers who tweeted before the announcement how much they've earned as part of the program. Ian Miles Chong, Benny Johnson, and Ashley St. Clair all touted their earnings. There's a problem with this, though. And, you know, I love to throw out the Daily Krasenstein. I'll leave the article in the links, but I'm not going to go through it. Both Krasenstein brothers have tweeted about this. Here's one of them, and I'll do it in the Krasenstein style. Thank you. I want to address some things regarding Taylor Lorenz's Washington Post story. One, I support most of her reporting. Well, there's where you go wrong, Ed. Her story, entitled Far-Right Twitter Influences First on Elon Musk's Monetization Scheme, is a terrible piece of journalism. That is par for the course. There you go. The article states, on Thursday, Twitter announced that it would begin sharing ad revenue with content creators. Now, this is wrong. This is factually wrong. I'll let him do it. Fact is, this announcement actually came back in February. I specifically remember it, as do many others. Her article goes on to claim the first beneficiaries appear to be a string of high-profile far-right influencers who tweeted before the announcement how much they've earned. Again, this is factually incorrect. Twitter sent out notifications to those receiving money at around 12:42 p.m. on Thursday. The first person tweeting about it was being paid was Ashley St. Clair at 1:04 p.m. Eastern Time, followed by Benny Johnson at 1:14 p.m. Eastern Time, and then many others. All of the influencers were not far-right influencers, unless you consider myself and Brian Krasenstein to be far-right. They're not. Both received more than any of those individuals mentioned in Taylor's article. Mr. Beast, $25,000, also received about the same as Brian and I. He definitely is not far-right. At the time of Taylor Lorenz's article, several left-leaning people had already tweeted that they were paid, including ourselves and Catherine Brodsky, but she claims in the article that so far the influencers who have publicly revealed that they're part of the program are prominent figures on the right. At the time, Brian's tweet about the payment had already received 5 million impressions. The article is very bad reporting on behalf of the Washington Post and Taylor Lorenz, and that's coming from someone who normally likes the Washington Post. Good on you, Mr. Krasenstein. I will give you credit when the credit is due. Her article, as usual, is bullshit, but she just wants it to be everyone to hate it because Twitter's far right. Oh! Anyway, and then someone here posted a list of a whole bunch of people, and to be fair, it's pretty one-sided whether you guys are the few on the left. No, it's not one-sided. There's the people who've listed they've gotten money are wait a minute, one-sided. Okay, so Mr. Beast, Crashy Scratch, the first three are high-profile left heads. Okay, Cobra Tate on the right, Seal Gray, he's on the right, but he's weird. Sawyer Merritt, nope, left. Home Marsbach, don't know. Tim Cast, Simon, that's Simon, that's the reporter from Africa. So that's the first few, but I'm sure there's more that they haven't announced. Anyway, just definitely, I think there was a manual process of human verification. All you need to have a Stripe account connected, need 10,000 impressions, and several other factors are required. Twitter outlines these on their website. Well, I'll have to do that. I'm actually eligible for this somehow. I don't know how the hell I'm eligible for this, but I checked it out and I'm eligible for it. I don't necessarily have that high of a, I don't know if I have that high of a, impression, whatever, follow rate, but apparently I'm eligible for it. So I might sign up for that. What the hell? Thank you, Chicago Mike, dropping a big 556 bullet in the tip jar via Streamlabs saying, what is Taylor Lorenz's profession? Writer or professional victim? Well, good question. Actually, I think her profession actually has to do something with funny horns and makeup. Anyway, thank you, Chicago Mike, for sponsoring the show. If you want to sponsor the show, hey, please sponsor the show. I need the money. Sponsor the show. It is oh, I didn't even have that on the screen, did I? There's the Krasenstein's tweet. You know what? I'll separate that out because I give him credit. And look, every once in a while, even though I think Brian and Ed Krasenstein, even though I think they're kind of a joke and they're just leftist shills for, especially anything Democrat in the Biden administration, I absolutely have to give him credit when credit's due. And every once in a while, he says something that I feel he's being honest about. And whatever. So lots of people tweeting about Taylor Lorenz, giving her, here's Taylor Lorenz's view of the world. Everyone over here is a good person. Everyone here is alt-right and everyone else is a Nazi. The Washington Post lets bad reporter Taylor Lorenz nurse a personal grudge in its pages. Jimmy's World has more honest journalism. There's not even a hint of professionalism anymore. Again, and here's her tweet. And it's funny because she used to get a lot of engagement on Twitter too. Oh, Black Hebrew Israelite.
That's right.
Good morning. How you doing? She used to get a lot of engagement on Twitter, but everyone just, she's constantly getting smacked down. So, she wants people to follow her on Substack and Mastodon and all these other alternative so-called liberal places. Maybe she should just go over to Threads. But I know that over, what is it? How many people they sign up for Threads? Like millions and millions and millions. Lots of people sign up for Threads on the first date. But I haven't heard a damn thing about it since. I haven't seen a whole lot of people on Twitter that have kind of left. The people I see on Twitter all the time are still over here tweeting. So it's interesting. But again, she just wants Twitter to be the high profile right wing content creators, including Andrew Tate. Ed, technically you are now considered a right winger thanks to Taylor Lorenz. That alone is worth the misinformation. Kidding. Okay, so anyway, it's funny. It is funny. Poor Taylor Lorenz just doesn't get any respect. She is the Rodney Dangerfield of journalism. She just didn't get no respect. Okay, Dylan Mulvaney's trending. Why? Well, apparently someone on CNN misgendered him. Is that why? Oh, good Lord. This dude. Dylan Mulvaney wore a secret dress last night after claiming he was afraid for his safety and fled to Peru. Okay. But anyway, CNN apparently misgendered.
Transgender influencer Dylan Mulvaney, who was featured in Bud Light's recent campaign, she was mistakenly referred to by the wrong pronoun. And
oh
CNN
my God! Oh my God!
Ways of identifying themselves.
He was man by the wrong pronoun. Wait a minute.
They don't like the way Dylan Mulvaney was treated after this whole controversy started. He, of course, is the transgender person they were going to sponsor and go along with Bud Light. They didn't like how Bud Light didn't stand by him after all this.
Yes, the next day, CNN had to issue
this is the apology.
I did want to make an important note. Yesterday in a segment about transgender influencer Dylan Mulvaney, who was featured in Bud Light's recent campaign, she was mistakenly referred to by the wrong pronoun.
Mistakenly? Do you think that was a mistake on the person who said that's part? What do you mean mistakenly? Because it wasn't even like he did it once. The guy who said it did it twice. So I don't know if it was a mistake. That was his opinion. That's his dialect. Are you saying a black man can't have their own dialect? What's wrong with you, CNN? Anyway, CNN apologizes for accurately identifying Dylan Mulvaney. Days ago, Dylan Mulvaney claimed to have fled the U.S. because Dylan Mulvaney did not feel safe. Yet last night, Dylan Mulvaney appeared at an LGBTQ event on the red carpet in Los Angeles, showing off Dylan Mulvaney's breasts and nipples. And then, but wait a minute. But then here it is. Dylan Mulvaney is now going on trips. What the hell does that say? What's it say? I don't know what that means.
Hi, is this an okay time? Okay, surprise! I'm in Peru.
Oh, surprise!
And I'm at Machu Picchu. Isn't this just so beautiful?
Oh, great.
I'm here by myself, and I used to do a ton of solo traveling.
Okay.
I'm telling you, it's the best. If you could ever do a solo trip somewhere, it is such a good way to get to know yourself better. But I came here to feel something. You know what I mean? And I definitely have.
Well, I'm certainly... I was going to say, you probably can't feel your... Never mind. I can't say it.
Shaman ceremonies that were like 10 years worth of therapy. It was wild. I've seen a lot of llamas, and the people here are so kind.
Okay, I can't. If you really want to pay attention to it, it'll be in the links. All right, next, also trending is Non-Binary People's Day. So apparently today is Non-Binary People's Day. Why is it in July? I thought LGBTQI and LMNOP 2A double D something plus LGORP GORP month was June. Shouldn't that be in June? Because aren't you part of the plus in LGBTQI plus? Why are you having your day in July? But anyway, Pink News decided to say, in case you haven't had your daily affirmations yet, here you go. So people who want to pretend they're nothing. Okay, great. Now this is somebody, okay. Cat gender pride. Yeah. What? No. Today is International Non-Binary People's Day. Reminder that you are not a communist if you oppose the rights of LGBTQ plus people. Wait, what? What? Okay, I'm not a communist. What does this have to do with rights? The right to have people, force people to say what you think you are? Oh, good Lord. Anyway, congratulations. It's National LG or International Non-Binary People's Day, something like that. Whatever. Being weird to be weird. I don't know. Let me thank a couple of people real quick. Thank you, Tyler F. and Swamp Fox Ghost and Cindy Oberg for retweeting the show. I greatly appreciate it. But, by the way, I have a test on Twitter. By the way, a quiz. I'd like you to come up with the answers, and you have to go on my Twitter feed. Now, granted, I put it on YouTube too. So check out my latest short video on YouTube. You can answer it there too. So just whatever. Yeah, exactly. Happy I'm special. Look at me. Happy I need attention day. That's about what it is. Okay, let's talk about people of color. That's next. So people of color is trending because apparently a Congress critter, probably mistakenly and out of long context, said something about colored people. Okay. And people are up in arms about it. I mean, people are freaking out about it. Colored people is a dated term that began in the mid-19th century and was often used derisively about black people. Well, and so you say people of color? People of color is a broader term to refer to a larger group of black and brown people and others, including Latinx, which is a hate speech to some Latino people, and Asian Americans. Well, not necessarily, but whatever. And honestly, the first people to call themselves people of color had nothing to do with the brown and, it wasn't red, brown, yellow, black, and white, we are precious in a sight. No, it was all about black people. That's what it originally was. And then everyone said, well, we also, okay, you can be people of color too, and you can be people of color too. Everybody but the whiteys, right? So anyway, hello, Selected Boy.
Yeah, boy.
So anyway, everyone's up in arms because of this Congress critter. GOP knows what they're doing when they use the word colored. Really? What are they doing? That's not, oh my God. And it became less fashionable about in the roughly late 60s. Instead of saying colored people or Negro people, they used to say, they changed to black people. And then in the 80s, what was it? It was Jesse Jackson who came up with the African American. He started saying African American because everyone could say Irish American, Italian, whatever. But that's not specific enough because Africa is a country, right? So, Africa is not a country, it's a continent, and there's lots of countries in Africa. And so then, like, black people are like, you can just call us black people because you think of the black people who were the ancestors of slaves. But then now some people want to say the foundational black Americans because, basically the descendants of slaves, or what is it? Something else. Descendants of slaves, ADOS. So that's another one. But still, most of people say black people because if you say black people, you mean American blacks who probably were descendants of slaves. But you still also have the National Association of Colored People because they haven't changed their name yet. So anyway, this congressman meant to say black people. So here's what he did. Let's show the clip real quick because this is what everyone's up in arms about.
Arizona.
Well, Mr. Chairman, though that was unbelievably inspiring, my amendment has nothing to do with whether or not colored people.
Oh, wait a minute, hang on, because I couldn't hear it over that. Thank you, Cryptic, by the way. Cryptic in the house. Thank you for sponsoring the show. Big Bullet in the tip jar says, oh. Excuse me, let me get my other finger ready. That sounds weird. Cryptic says, dropping a big bullet, says, I don't understand Christianity's problem with LGBTQ people. Transgender women made me believe in Adam's apple. Oh, good Lord. Oh, God. Oh, Cryptic! That is bad. That is bad. That is bad. It's bad. You know it, Donna. You know it's bad. It's bad. Come on, or Shamon. Is it Shaman? Shamon. Anyway, all right, here's the clip of the person saying the wrong thing and has everyone crying in their boots.
Arizona.
Well, Mr. Chairman, though that was unbelievably inspiring, my amendment has nothing to do with whether or not colored people or black people or anybody can serve, okay? It has nothing to do with color of your skin, any of that stuff. What we want to preserve and maintain is the fact that our military does not become a social experiment.
So there's some amendment talking about how there's some, because they're starting to do DEI in the military. And like I was saying the other day, I don't give a crap who serves in the military. They're trying to, because the military's been trying to weed out the white nationalists and the white supremacists, but really with a loose definition of it, right? And so, as I have said before, if people are willing to serve in the military and follow all the protocols of the military, basically I want to make sure that people in the military are people who can kill people and break shit. Okay, because that's their job. That's your job in the military. Yeah, they get kind of sidetracked on some nation building crap, but basically their job is to kill people and break shit. And so, if at the very least, make sure that everyone else knows that they're good at killing people and break shit, so they don't come over and try to kill our people and break our shit because they're too afraid of the people that we have that do kill people and break shit. That's all I care about the military. Now, if someone goes into the military and they do some racist shit in front of an officer and whatever, then fine, put them in the brig. But because the military is one of the more diverse professions in the United States of America, if you are a racist piece of shit and you do go into the military, you're going to learn really quickly that you're going to be serving right next to probably a big black guy who can whoop your ass in a heartbeat and a drill sergeant who's probably blacker than, under the bed. So here's what you do. If you're a racist in the military, shut the fuck up, follow orders, do what you're supposed to do. And when it comes to situations where you're out in the field and you get hurt and someone's going to pick you up and take you to the med tent, don't give a shit what color their skin is and shut the fuck up. Okay? Because y'all are on the same purpose to kill people and break shit or stop other people from killing our people and breaking our shit. Was I clear on that? So anyway, so he had some amendment, something about some diversity fucking bullshit in the military. Military's already diverse and whatever. So anyway, let him continue here.
We want the best of the best. We want to have standards that guide who's in what unit, what they do. And I'm going to tell you guys right now, the Russians, the Chinese, the Iranians, the North Koreans, they are not doing this because they want the strongest military possible. I hope my colleagues on the other side can understand what we're doing. Thank you so much.
Mr. Speaker,
so here we go.
Recognized to have the words colored people.
For what purposes, gentlelady, seek recognition?
I'd like to be recognized to have the words colored people stricken from the record. I find it offensive.
Okay.
And very inappropriate.
Is the gentlelady asking for unanimous consent to take down the words?
I am asking for unanimous consent to take down the words of referring to me or any of my colleagues as colored people.
He didn't refer to you.
For what purposes, the gentleman from Arizona?
Can I amend my comments to people of color?
He meant to say people of color.
His comments.
Let's see, she objects to that.
Asking consent.
Mr. Speaker, to have the word stricken. I didn't ask for an amendment.
Well, he wants to amend. Now, see, this is, okay, look. Very well possible he was misspeaking because right after he said that, black people, whatever. So why doesn't she want it to be amended? So that would remove those words from the record and change it to people of color, which is supposed to be acceptable, right? So the offense, I think, yes, offended for the sake of being offended. And look, then fine. Have you petitioned to have the NAACP change their name? That's what I ask. I understand that it is. I've never understood why it's offensive to somebody. I know that it reminds you of things that happened in the past that you find in black and white photos. But that's stuff that's not happening today. And sometimes grace would have been appropriate here. If she would have had the grace just to say, okay, yeah, I'll let you, whether if you are genuinely offended, which some people are genuinely offended by it, right? But have the grace to allow him to mend it to an acceptable term of what he meant. And he just got you saw him choke on his words when he said it. So anyway, that's why that's trending, and it's just stupid. It's stupid to me. It's not stupid to everybody, but some people are just claiming. Oh, this is also one of those Krasny things that happened this morning. So he wrote, "This is not okay. Republican Congressman Eli Crane called black people of color on the House floor." Now wait a minute. Listen to the whole sentence.
Mr. Chairman, though, that was unbelievably inspiring. My amendment has nothing to do with whether or not colored people or black people or anybody can serve, okay? It has nothing to do.
He's trying to change. He knew he fucked up when he said it. When he said colored people, he knew he fucked up when he said it, and he said or black people, But no, let's be offended, not give him any grace that he misspoke or whatever. If it was a slip, it was a slip up. We can't say that people who use this term privately because we don't know, especially when the culturally acceptable term people of color could very well have been the phrase he attempted to say but mangled. And that's what I'm thinking. So anyway, it is what it is. Moving on to, let's see. I got to hurry up because I got to get into the main topic today. So the other thing that's trending is Snow White. We heard about it a little earlier. Apparently, Disney is redoing a live action Snow White with a Latina woman, and now here Jeff Charles makes a good point. My friend Jeff here. Some of y'all here are outraged by a Latina Snow White and a lawmaker saying colored people. I'm outraged by federal, state, and local governments abusing citizens with impunity because they know that we aren't paying attention. Yes, Jeff Charles, you are the man. You are the man. People are talking about stupid shit, and we're not paying attention to our government, okay? But here I am talking about stupid shit. So it's Snow White and the politically correct band of 7 minors, because first pictures of the new live action remake of Snow White surface on the internet with the Latina Snow White and a very diverse crowd of, well, in theory, dwarfs or midget. What are they calling it? Meet the cast of the new woke Snow White film. Snow White is a Colombian now, and the 7 dwarves look more like 6 normal-sized hipster pedos and 1 dwarf from Portland. Snow White, no longer skin as white as snow. Absolutely ridiculous. Anyway, I don't know why they're remaking Snow White in the first place, but that's what we're doing. Yeah. Oh, one of the dwarfs is a chick. Wait a minute. What? This is not a. That's what? Why is it? What is going on here? What is going on here? Why are they remaking Snow White? I don't know. All right, we've had enough of this shit. All right, I've left myself very little time, but I want to talk about this World War III and why I think Hillary Clinton is at fault here. Sounds weird, right? Why would Hillary Clinton be at fault? She's not in office. She's not anywhere near office. Thank God she's not anywhere near presidency. So if you weren't aware, and this, I'll do the article from Gunfox sent me, since he sent me this, from the Department of Defense website here. Listen to this. Oh, shit. Careful there, Hig. You better be careful, brother. Oh my God. All I saw was how it sounded in my head, and I went, oh shit, what? Oh no, you said diggers. Snow White and the Seven Diggers. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Oh my gosh, I'm teared up. Okay. Biden approves the mobilization of reserves to support EUCOM. Not Yukon, but U as in Eurocom. President Joe Biden today issued an executive order approving the mobilization of select reserve forces with up to 3,000 personnel, augmenting the armed forces in support of Operation Atlantic Resolve. This is from the Department of Defense website. This operation will be designated as a contingency operation, said Lieutenant General Douglas A. Sims from the Army Joint Staff Director of Operations during the press briefing. Quote, this new designation benefits troops and families with increases in authorities, entitlements, and access to the reserve component forces and personnel. What the fuck does that mean? This executive order reaffirms the unwavering support and commitment to defend NATO's eastern flank. So they're going to put them nearer to Russia than not. In the wake of Russia's illegal and unprovoked war on Ukraine, Sims said. The European Command is preparing to use its authority in a continuation of U.S. commitment to NATO's collective security, stated EUCOM spokesman Navy Captain Bill Speaks in a news release today. These authorities will ensure long-term resilience to in EUCOM's continued heightened level of presence on base. So anyway, let's look at the White House's version of this. By the authority vested in me as the president by the Constitution and the laws of the United States of America, including sections 121, blah, 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 Title 10 of the United States Code, I hereby determine that it is necessary to augment the active armed forces of the United States for the effective conduct of Operation Atlantic Resolve in and around the United States European Command area of responsibility. In furtherance of this operation, under the stated authority, I hereby authorize the Secretary of Defense and the Secretary of Homeland Security with respect to the Coast Guard when it is not operating as a service in the Navy under their respective jurisdictions to order the active duty, any units and any individual members not assigned to a unit organized to serve as a unit of the selected reserve, or any member in the individual ready reserve mobilization category and designated as essential under regulations prescribed by the secretary concerned, not to exceed 3,000 total members at any one time, of whom not more than 450 may be members of the individual ready reserve as they deem necessary, and to terminate the service of those units and members ordered to active duty. Now, it says this order is not intended to and does not create any right or benefit, substantive or procedural, enforceable at law or in equity by any party against the United States, its departments, agencies, and titles of officers, blah, 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 blah. So this is interesting because yesterday, I don't know if you saw this. Here's President Biden talking about the G7 support for Ukraine will last as long as it takes.
I think it's a powerful statement of our commitment to Ukraine as it defends its freedom.
Now remember, Ukraine's not part of the NATO.
Future. Today, the members of the G7 are launching the joint declaration of support for Ukraine to make it clear that our support will last long into the future, that we're going to be there as long as that takes.
Oh, as long as that takes. And remember, they also said that Ukraine can join NATO, but it has to be after a war. They can't add them to NATO until that war is over. So as long as it takes, and again, their commitment to Ukraine is as long as it takes, and then they can join NATO as long as it takes for them to get out of this war. The war that we're sending, we're depleting our supply of munitions for them to continue on and on and on. Someone said something the other day that kind of clicked with me. It's funny how all these crises that we have find a way to make certain people rich. We have a crisis, the pandemic crisis, pharmaceutical companies, $300 billion in profits. You have, this crisis in Ukraine. Oh, these companies that make munitions and equipment and airplanes and shit, making millions of dollars. It's what's the next crisis and who's going to benefit from it? I'm sure Joe Biden and a lot of people in Congress benefit from it. Thank you, Chicago Mike, with a small bullet in the tip jar. Thank you, sir. And Chicago Mike, guess what? You are the new Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day. Thank you, sir. Who says Snow White and the Seven Short People is the new title because dwarf is offensive. Is it truly? Is that truly what they're calling it, or is it just Snow White? And they just left off that because it's not even. I don't even know they're short people. They're not even little people. But is that actually the new title? I know they say dwarf is offensive now. Why? I don't know. It's like, you get to say something for a period of time until somebody decides it's offensive, so they give it a new name, and then after a little while they decide that the new name is offensive, so they make you stop saying that one and give it a new name. And sometimes you go back to one of the old names because the new name was, is more offensive than the old name. And then you get the old name, but then someone thinks of another new name, so then now that old name is offensive again, more so than the new name. And it's just, especially with us brothers and sisters, the black people. I'm just stick with black people. I never liked the African American thing anyway, because I didn't know where I was from in Africa until I was 40. And then I realized I truly was African American, but I'm an American. So I just, I'm an American of African descent. I'm not even an African American. I'm an American of African descent. My sister is African American. She's African, but she moved here and now she's an American. I think. Well, I know my nephews are. I don't know. Anyway. So let me just, and my little diatribe about Hillary Clinton is not going to take long. See, there's other things. I have some other stuff up here. So let me just tell you why I think Hillary Clinton started World War III. Okay. Right, Africa is not a country. That's right. So I'm Nigerian American, and my sister's Nigerian American. Or Igbo American, because that's even more specific. We're Igbo. But anyway, let me explain to you my title. And it's not that long of an explanation, but I think you'll follow the logic of it. Hello, those ain't real, dude. Nice to see you. Chris Kroll, what's happening? Brent Hayes, nice to see you. Anna Lynn, nice to have you here. Reaction, Puerto Rico, you lovely island. Hi, guys. Anyway, so Here, this is a short and sweet Reader's Digest version of what my point is with the title today. When Barack Obama came into office, okay? When Barack Obama came into office, I'm not really sure why Hillary Clinton decided that we were going to have this reset of relations with Russia. Now, our relations with Russia during the Cold War, obviously, were cold. And then we get into the Reagan administration, in between Great Britain, the United States, and the Pope, apparently, somehow convinced the Russians that, or the Soviet Union at the time, that they didn't need to be the Soviet Union anymore. They started letting people go. People started protesting, and especially some of the Eastern Bloc nations wanted to be free and whatever. The whole thing turned into a thing where the Soviet Empire fell as an empire, right? The Soviet bloc countries were all kind of released from their whole Soviet Union. The Soviet Union had a big breakup. And part of that is due to the relationship between Reagan and Gorbachev and Thatcher and the Pope and the country, Russia itself, has gone through this transition into a pseudo-capitalist country, not so much communist, and although a lot of the leaders were still around. Okay. Now, and I think during the first George Bush Sr., Clinton presidency, and Bush 43, those relations continued to get better, or at least where we can exist in the world together. And for whatever reason, during the Obama administration, I don't know if there were tensions just prior to the Obama administration with Bush or not, because, we'd gone through 9/11 and all that stuff, but there wasn't a whole lot of, the Russians in Afghanistan, that was a little problem, but that worked itself out because the Afghanistan were just, the Russians couldn't handle Afghanistan, just like we couldn't handle Afghanistan. Nobody's ever been able to conquer Afghanistan. But let me go back. When Barack Obama came into office and Hillary Clinton had had to humble herself and just be Secretary of State instead of president, she had this big thing where we were going to have this Russian reset, right? The big old Russian reset. And she kind of made a fool of herself when she came in with that little red button. Remember that? The red button? I made a joke about that, in my it's like my second video about Hillary Clinton was my second video I ever made on this channel. Because they had this thing, she gave them a red button. We're going to have this Russian reset. And I'm like, they pushed the button together. I'm like, nuclear explosions. But no, it didn't happen. And I don't know if at some point those relations soured at all. But when it came time for her to run for president, she decided that she was going to make Russia and Putin the bad guy by claiming that they were trying to help Donald Trump become president. And I don't think the Russians particularly liked Hillary Clinton. I think they tolerated her nonsense, but I don't think they liked her. And so what she did, she comes up with this idea that, okay, we're going to have some evidence called a Steele dossier. We're going to pay some people to, come up with this dossier, this fake dossier, and, make it seem like Trump is colluding with Russians. Now, prior to this, I think for the most part, Democrats kind of admired Russia, kind of thought of them as the communists they could have never been, right? But because of this whole fiasco with, and it's funny because remember when in Obama's second term, when he was running for president for his second term, and he's running against Mitt Romney, and in the debates they asked Mitt Romney, who is our biggest geopolitical foe? Mitt Romney said Russia, and Barack Obama. The big joke in that was, well, the 1980s want their foreign policy back. That Russia was not our biggest geopolitical enemy. According to Obama himself, his administration, Russia was not a geopolitical enemy. Now, 4 years later, when Hillary Clinton's running for president and they try to plant all this bullshit on Donald Trump and try to make him saying he's a Russian still, Putin's puppet, he's compromised and whatever, and Russia helped him get elected, all the Democrats got on board with this, and now Russia was their enemy. Russia was the Democrats' enemy. Russia was our biggest geopolitical foe. Suddenly, Mitt Romney's right, although they didn't admit Mitt Romney was right. They become our greatest enemy all of a sudden because they meddle in our election. They got Donald Trump elected, which is not true, but that's what they want you to believe. And they've convinced every Democrat and a lot of Republicans that Russia was our biggest geopolitical foe. Also during that time, What did they do? What did they do in 2014? They kind of interfered in the Ukrainian elections and got their guy, started getting some of their people in there. They were messing around with Ukraine, and the Russians didn't like it because the Russians, this whole thing about us encroaching on agreements that we made long ago not to do that when the Soviet Union fell, that we were going to expand NATO any closer to Russia. We've done it. This is coming on our third time now, expanding NATO closer to Russia. And Russia starts, deciding, well, they're going to try to kill two birds with one stone, and as they're trying to nick off this Donbas region, whatever, and now they're in a war with Ukraine, and the Democrats are all on board because it's Putin and the people who got Donald Trump elected, even though they didn't. But all the Democrats are on board hating Russia now. And now we have a Democrat president sending even more troops over there and adding new people to NATO that are even closer to Russia and pushing us closer and closer to World War III. Well, whose fault is that? Is it Putin's? A little bit. But who made Putin paranoid? Well, that's interesting. Who has caused 6 to 7 years of nothing but bashing Russia and Putin from the United States perspective? Well, that's Hillary Clinton, by one fake dossier against a political opponent, even though that she got the fake dossier by cooperating with spies who were cooperating with Russia. So, as we move 3,000 more troops into the eastern edges of NATO, which means right up next to Russia, if Russia responds and we go into World War III, I blame Hillary Clinton. It's Hillary Clinton's fault because she wanted power so badly that she colluded with Russians to make it look like Donald Trump colluded with Russians. And she made all the Democrats and a lot of the Never Trump Republicans now all are anti-Putin. Now, is Putin a great guy? No. But what is Putin doing? Seems like since we've broken our agreements, it seems like he's protecting his ass too. Who knows who's going to be an aggressor here? But just every development I see, I can all trace back to the fact that she was the one who turned Democrats heavily against Russia by creating a false dossier because she wanted power and she thought it was going to get her. And what's the funniest thing about the entire ordeal is Hillary Clinton will still never be president. And there you go. That's the reason for the title today. Oh, well, Hillary, thank God you were never president. All right. I'm going to finish up today. I'm going to skip. Let's see. Oh, there's let me do a couple quick hits of news and then we're getting out of here. One, this is wild. So the Biden administration apparently announced this morning, and it's not what you think it is. It's not what I thought it was, at least not at first glance. So we're going to go through this real quick. I'm going to run over a little time here. So the Biden administration now announces $39 billion in student debt relief following administrative fixes. Now, when I first read this headline, I was like, that motherfucker, he's going to disobey the Supreme Court, yada, yada, yada. But it's not really what it is, although I'm still skeptical why, if he can do this. But here it is. The Biden administration announced Friday that 804,000 borrowers will have their student debt wiped away, totaling $39 billion worth of debt in the coming weeks due to fixes that more accurately count qualified monthly payments under existing income-driven repayment plans. For far too long, borrowers fell through the cracks of a broken system that failed to keep accurate track of their progress toward forgiveness, Education Secretary Miguel Cardona said in a written statement. There are currently several different kinds of income-driven repayment plans for borrowers with federal student loans, which base payments on a borrower's income and family size, regardless of their total outstanding debt. After reaching a set forgiveness threshold of 20 to 25 years, a borrower remaining balance is then wiped. So these people have actually, they made some errors on a program that would have been forgiven based on the terms of the loan they have. So I don't know if this is Biden trying to save face from the fact that he can't just wave a magic wand and allow people to forgive their student loans. These are ones that would have been scheduled to be forgiven anyway, according to the repayment plan and the law. So a lot of people are going to be bitching about this, but it's not what it's not how it reads. It's not that they're forgiving student loans. This is something that was already in the plan. I paid off my student loans. Where's my student loan forgiveness? This was already written into the contracts, though. I paid off my student loans too. I didn't get to have this provision, but apparently this was already in the plan. I don't know. So anyway, yeah, saving face by admitting an accounting error. Well, yeah, but look, what it makes it look like is that Biden's is keeping a promise on forgiving student loan debt when he's really not doing it. But it makes the headline like as if he's actually doing something extraordinary. So it's how they lie to you and how they'll lie. Watch. This is going to be part of a campaign, ad that he forgave student loans. No, he didn't. They were doing this during the Trump administration too. Certain types of student loans were forgiven after a certain number of years of paying them. Federal student loans, because federal money's all fake anyway. So anyway, that's you're going to see that headline and people are going to be saying, just like I said, I paid my student loans. Why these guys get forgiven? Then I read the article and realize, this is not Joe Biden doing something that he's not supposed to do. This is something that was written into the terms of those loans. So anyway, so there's that. And then finally, I'm gonna skip a couple of these. Hunter Biden worked to secure U.S. visa for Ukrainian oligarch allegedly involved in a suspected bribery scheme. Oh, shocker! That's an article in the Daily Caller. We're not going to go through it because I don't have time. The other article I had up was this one. Government officials were stunned by startling spike in Chinese donations to University of Pennsylvania after the Biden think tank opened. Oh, is that a shocker to anyone? So when Joe Biden, the think tank he opened up at the University of Pennsylvania where they found a bunch of classified documents. Well, there were government officials who were stunned how many Chinese donations were going to the University of Pennsylvania after he opened that. Isn't that a shocker? Anyway, all right, let's finish with these two videos and get out of here. So first, there's this interesting person. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Oh, hang on. Clearly, there's a purpose behind this video, but I'm going to let you see if you can figure out what the purpose of this video is. Here we go. Play!
Conservative men are literally like, my politics are like stopping me from getting laid because when women find out that I just don't think they should have like rights and I just perceive them as like walking baby machines or sex objects, then they don't like me anymore and they don't want to have sex with me. So like, can we just talk about something else? No. We're going to talk about this, and you're going to have to explain yourself.
Okay, now, let's analyze this. Why did she make this video? Well, first of all, she wanted to show off her assets. But here's what I thought about when I saw this video. Because she said, well, let's start this over again. We're going to go by it bit by bit. Yes, thank you, Avocados Diablo. You actually got it. That's it right there, to show off her cleavages. That's the real reason to show up for this video. But here we go.
Conservative
now,
men
first of all,
like...
talk about a straw man. Okay, she said conservative men are literally like, and then she's quoting them.
My politics are like stopping me from getting laid because...
I doubt it, because I'm guessing. Oh, and here's my thought on this lady. Okay, my guess is that she got caught in a hit and run because she forgot to ask, are you gonna love me forever? Oh, oh, oh. I bet she's had a few too many of those. And then she's, after she slept the guy, then she's like, they started talking politics. She's like, oh, your politics are what? Oh my God, I can't believe it. So she probably starts asking people their politics before she gives it up now. But before that, she just didn't that right away, and then later she starts to get to know him and go, oh, wait a minute, you're conservative? Oh my God, I can't do this. So now she asks. But first of all, when she says they literally saying my politics are not helping me get laid, I doubt it, because conservative guys usually are more interested in marriage and shit like that. And there's a lot of women who are still interested in marriage, just not you, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, but here's the straw man she gives you.
When women find out that I just don't think they should have like rights.
Oh, wait a minute. When you say that, so her, I guess the stereotype she's coming up with, hello, Special K, that women should not have rights. I don't know anyone who thinks that women shouldn't have rights. There might be a couple troglodytes. I don't know what you mean by rights, but what rights are these conservative men telling you that you shouldn't have? Okay. Oh, you might only be meaning one right, that wasn't really a right written in the Constitution that some states are deciding different variables on. But the idea, that you shouldn't have rights? What rights are you talking about, dimwit? And again, this is a straw man, because, you can easily swipe that argument away. Anyway, let's see the finish.
And I just perceive them as like walking baby machines.
Really? Is that what one guy wanting to get laid thinks you're a walking baby machine? I would think that a guy wanting to get laid would want to avoid walking baby machines and have people with IUDs and multiple forms of contraception and a morning after pill just in case, especially with you, because I don't think any conservative men would ever want to have a child with you. So I'm pretty sure that the conservative men are smart enough to avoid the walking baby machines, unless they're planning on making you wifey. But then again, I think you might have got caught in a hit and run a while back. That's what you're starting to ask now. Anyway.
Sex objects, then they don't like me anymore. And
okay, so anyway, enough of her. Funny, cute, and not worthy. Most conservative men, if they're actually conservative men, probably are looking for someone that they want to wife up, and you're not it. Sorry, honey. Okay. And then finally, the feel-good video of the day is this one, and we're going to finish with this. This is, now, granted, I think this might be in a different culture where that you have to concern about this, but there's, it is applicable kind of to many other cultures. So it's a culturally distinct video, and yet it applies to many cultures. Here's some instruction. This is a self-defense class that this guy is teaching, and I think it's very important that you learn this form of self-defense, especially if you have a mother.
Today I'm going to be demonstrating how to defend yourself if your mom ever comes swinging at you with a sandal.
Okay, so now granted, this is, again, it has a cultural version of it, but believe me, in every culture there's a version of this. So just take the advice and because it may help you in the future. So watch carefully. In case a mother comes at you with a sandal or any other object, like in a black family, it'd be a switch, or if it was, I don't know what they do in white families. Anyway, follow the instructions here. I'll go back a little bit just so you hear the whole thing.
Defend yourself if your mom ever comes swinging at you with a sandal. This right here is my brother. He's going to be playing my mom.
This is a demonstration.
Wrong, right? And she swings at you. Pop. Now you have wrist control. What you want to do now is move the trajectory of the sandal away from your face and then pivot inward.
Okay,
here,
pivot. Yeah, good.
Your arm. What I like to do is turn it around.
That's a good technique. Yeah, wow, taking mom to the ground.
And you have full control.
There you go.
Show me. Okay, guys. This is my actual mom.
Okay. Uh-oh. Well, let's see if we can do it again.
She swings at you, right?
Oh, shit! And on that note, here's a good advice. Just go with it. If mom's coming at you with a sandal, just go with it. Okay? Just go with it. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that's it. Thank you for joining me on the Morning Night Live. All these links are going to be in the chat during the outro. So if you want to hang on and click a link, that'll be there. And if you want to sponsor the show, you can do so by hitting the like button, sharing this stream right now, and 23 people, 15 likes. Hit that like button right now. And also, you can sponsor the show monetarily through Streamlabs, not YouTube, Venmo and Snapchat, Rumble Rant, stuff like that. So, guys, I gotta go. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. I don't have any. We're gonna go to a car show this weekend, I think. So, anyway, have a lovely weekend. Gotta go. My name's P-Dog Knight, and I'm out of here. Bye. Hey, this is P-Dog Knight, and thank you for watching today on the P-Dog Knight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterwards so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all the supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through Streamlabs, YouTube, Venmo, and Cash App, which are all linked in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm P-Dog Knight, and I'm out of here.